I scraped all the games that were in Next Fest 2025. We all know that there were 2018 games in it, and we could also all see that apparently puzzles are the most popular genre. But if puzzles are so popular, riddle me this. In the top 50 most played, why are there only 2 puzzle games? Truly puzzling. Puzzle is only a genre though according to Steam, and not a top level genre. The most common top level genre amongst puzzle games was adventure, which isn't surprising, but there were also 7 racing puzzle games, although I don't know that they are what I would call racing games. Ecolux comes close, I guess. There's also 6 sports puzzle games, and I would definitely agree that Put One In for Johnny Min is a sports game, so well done on that. I don't know about puzzle though. Anyway, enough about puzzles. The most popular top level genre is of course action, the most popular genre is as established puzzle, and the most popular subgenre is exploration. If you look at the number of games in each genre. But if you look at the number of players, the standings change. The genre with the most total players is simulation, closely followed by RPG, and only then action. Now, out of the top 50 most played demos, 25 were action and only 23 were simulation, but in the top 10 there were 6 simulations and only 5 actions. The top 3 action games by players are Half Sword, Yap Yap and The Midnight Walkers, while the top 3 simulation games are again Half Sword, then Heroes of Might and Magic and Final Sentence. The top 3 action games by number of reviews were Cairn, Misery and Ruby Knight. Interestingly, Ruby Knight isn't even in the top 50. It probably gathered most of the reviews before Next Fest, which I think is also true for Cairn. Let's talk about tags now. Tags and genres have a lot of overlap, but of course tags are way more diverse. Games have up to 20 tags, but there are still some with the exact same tags. But these are all passive too and basically the same game by the same dev, so not all that interesting. The tags with the most players are single player, multiplayer and 3D, although single player has almost twice as many total players as multiplayer. The most used tag that isn't a genre is somewhat unsurprisingly indie, followed by single player and casual. 3D and 2D are also not far behind. Not far away are a lot of the release dates. More than 1,000 games are set to come out in 2025 still. The most popular calendar date is October 24th, 2025, where 45 games were released. And one day before that, October 23rd, 43 games came out. The furthest calendar date is January 6, 2027, where Stranded in the Abyss is set to come out. But the most popular release date, by far, it's not close, is coming soon. Now let's have a look at titles. The most popular word in all titles this year was by far simulator. 85 games were some sort of simulator. We already saw that simulations get a lot of players, but out of the most popular ones, only Power Wash Simulator 2 also had simulator in the title. The reviews for simulators were on average only 83% positive though, which is far less than the second most used word, which is game. There were 33 games and they have on average 93% positive reviews. Interestingly, no game in the top 50 was a game by title. The game with the most players was by far Tabletop Game Shop Simulator, hitting the 2-for-1 with both simulator and game in the title. But if you want a bunch of players and 100% positive reviews, just name your game 5 Hearts Station. A game that also deserves a bunch of players and positive reviews, even though it wasn't in this year's Next Fest, is of course Berry Hunt Survivors, a little survivors game that we made where you play as grandma and beat up monsters. It's out now for only $3 and a free demo is also available, so please check it out. And now let's have a look at the best games that actually were in Next Fest. At the end of Next Fest, there were 3 games that had 100% positive reviews with more than 100 reviews each. Big Hops, 5 Hearts Under One Roof and Train Station Project. 5 Hearts Under One Roof had more than 600 reviews even. Almost as impressive was Herbal Haven, which at the end of Next Fest had 0 positive reviews, but also only 13 reviews in total. If you look at the 5 worst rated games with more than 100 reviews, Of Ash and Steel is in there, which is also in the top 50 most played. The best rated games of the top 50 on the other hand are Servant of the Lake and Desktop Defender with 99% positive each. But not every game can be the best. Let's have a look at what an average game would look like. If we were to build an average game in the top 50, it would be called Last Era Simulator, has 841 reviews, of which 86% are positive, 40,000 total players, and the release date is of course coming soon. Overall games, the average game would be called Tower Simulator Game, has 94 reviews, 87% positive, 2,600 players, and the release date is of course also coming soon. What's also coming soon is our next video, so don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and leave a comment if you would play Tower Simulator game. Bye!